Happy Friday, my ladies and guys who like to read and listen to and watch lady stuff. Welcome to my vlog. I started vlogging a couple years ago, and I think I did it like 3 times. So I can't guarantee that this is going to be an all-the-time thing, but I figured let me try it out again. Let's see how it goes. I do a lot of writing, a lot of content creating around love. I'm Candice Harper Love Coach, for anybody who doesn't know. But if you're watching this, you're probably on my newsletter or maybe on my page. I don't know, maybe you just randomly found me on YouTube and you're wondering, why is this chick sitting here in front of a brick wall with a towel on her head? Well, first of all, let me explain that I'm out on my terrace. I live in New York City, and I'm out on my terrace doing this because even though it's like 45 degrees, it's cold outside, the light is perfect. So I wanted to make sure to take advantage of it. But also I'm waiting for my new hair. Right now my hair is wet because I did yoga this morning. And I was like, am I really, I got struck by inspiration while I was in the shower. I'm like, am I really gonna take the time to try to zhuzh up this hair so that I could tell the people what I want to tell them? The answer is no. So you get me in a towel today. And to tell you the truth, if you were one of my clients and we were Skyping, it would be very likely that sometimes you would get me in a towel. And, so roll with it. Go with it. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about being a love coach, because whenever I say that, people definitely have very different reactions. Sometimes I get like, ooh, exciting, because they immediately start thinking like I'm a sex coach, which I'm not a sex coach. Sometimes I get people who are somewhat skeptical. It's usually men. Older men are sometimes very skeptical. Like, what's a love coach? How do you teach love? Here's the thing, like with coaching, I mean, if you've ever played on any kind of sports team, you know what a coach does. A coach doesn't come as somebody who is an expert on everything, 100% knows what to do, and is always right and knows they're always right. What a coach does is they lead a player into being their best selves, to achieving their best possible thing. They, give them information that they can use to be good on the court, right? So the coach is sometimes on the court too. And as a matter of fact, when it comes to love, I'm always on the court. So what I do is I teach everything that I need to learn, everything that I have learned, and I also learn as I go. But I'm a pretty good guide for, people who want to just sort of work out some stuff and have somebody to help them along and have some support. So I want to talk about support a little bit, because it is very, very dangerous to be a solo act. And I'm not saying that to shame singlehood, because there's nothing wrong with singlehood, but you could be a solo act if you're single or if you're in a relationship. And the reason I say that it's dangerous is because the important thing about love, the most important thing about love, is human connection and intimacy. So if you've been struggling either in a relationship or being single and trying to date and having a hard time with that, I can almost guarantee that there's a part of you that thinks that you are an island and that you can do everything on your own. You might be hyper independent. You might be somebody who, earns a lot of your own money. You have a place for yourself to stay. You take care of all your bills. You just kind of do it all. You do it all for yourself and maybe even for others too. But maybe it's possible that you're not accepting that you sometimes need support too, and that you need that sort of ability to open up and allow connection. So now, how do you know that you are a dangerous solo act? I'll tell you, there's some ways to sort of identify it, because I definitely have been a solo act. I'm working my way out of it. I still have times where I slip into it, even in my own relationship, and it definitely always brings up the struggles. If we're struggling, I can almost always guess that it's either me or him who's going into our solo act. But here are some of the things. Like, if power struggles are a consistent thing in your life. So if you're always sort of like struggling for your way, for how your way is, wanting things to go your way, it's a pretty good indication that you are struggling to be a solo act. Do you wait to see if someone else is going to do something because you've got too much on your plate? Like, if you're at work or in groups or, in any community in your life, are you somebody who's like, I can't take on another thing That's a big sign of being a solo act, because you think that you have to do everything. So, if someone asks you to take on a big project, it's like, why do I have to? And trust me, I've so been in this world. Why do I have to do it? Because in my mind, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to do every single little thing. Whereas when you connect with other people, you garner support, right? You get them to help you out. So if I Feel Overwhelmed is your theme song. Now, if you're walking around overwhelmed, tired, it's all too much, it's because you keep telling yourself that story that it's just you're the only one who can do it, you're the only one who's got to do it. If every man for himself sounds like your mantra, clearly solo act, right? And if you think about launching big dreams or doing big things, or even starting a relationship or transforming your relationship, and you think about what it might take, and you start to get into the details of what that takes, and it just gets more and more overwhelming to where you put it off, or you go into paralysis or heavy drinking, whatever it is you do that stops you from doing anything that you want to do. It's because in your mind, you think that you're going to be the only one who has to do everything. And, lastly, a big indication that you might be a solo act is if your idea of being a team player is that everybody do what you say. So it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work that way. It's all about getting people on board with what it is we envision, and having our communities help us, and being willing to help other people. That's what relating is. That's what relationships are about. It's about forming a team of two. If you're polyamorous, a team of however many. I prefer a team of two. And just figuring out, first of all, what's important to you both and how you can help each other get it. And that's how it works with everybody in your life. So, I know I make it sound so simple, and there are some things that you have to do to sort of get there, right? So that's where a love coach comes in. What I do is I kind of help people work through the things that stop and challenge you from knowing that you can be intimately connected to someone in a way that lets you be a teammate and lets you be all those things that we put on our list. Like someone who's having fun, someone who's enjoying their relationship, passion, all that stuff we girls love and ask for. Oh, my paper flew up. Hold on one second. I'm back. All that stuff that we girls ask for and beg for and pray about and dream about. If you want to be able to achieve all of those things, you really got to get to a point where you're willing to say, I am not an island and I don't have to do it all on my own. So I'm a coach for team love. And when you work with me, I have a couple programs that I do. I have one called Powerfully Connect with Any Man You Want, which is also Powerfully Connect with Anyone You Want, because it also works for other relationships. And yeah, I just wanted to sort of come on and talk to you a little bit rather than what I normally do, which is just write. I don't know if does anybody read anymore? I don't know. I've heard that they don't. So I think I'm going to be doing this a little bit more often. If you're on the newsletter right now, if you're clicked into this from the newsletter, hi, my peeps. I love you so much. I'm wishing you love and life. And remember, I just want you to know this. What you speak, you create. So be mindful of your magic. I am Candice Harper Love Coach. By the way, if you love this red lipstick, which I do, I just keep reapplying it. I went to bed in it last night. My friend D'Angelo Thompson is the creator of Enhanced Beauty. So go to enhancedbeauty.nyc. This color is called Marja. So go and get it. It's fabulous. It's so creamy and wonderful, but matte, right? Anyway, I love you guys a lot, and I will talk to you soon. We'll see if this might be a regular Friday thing. I mean, we might just be digital coaching. I don't see anything wrong with that. Do you? Whatever. Anyway, love you. Bye.